Bernie Sanders announced that when Congress reconvenes in September, he's going to be proposing a bill to abolish private prisons. Now, Bernie Sanders states, "I will be introducing legislation which takes corporations out of profiteering from running jails. It is morally repugnant and a national tragedy that we have privatized prisons all over America. In my view, corporations should not be allowed to make a profit by building more jails and keeping more Americans behind bars." Now, as usual, Bernie Sanders is absolutely correct. Now, to illustrate just how deplorable this industry is, Think Progress explains that private prison companies have been the target of countless lawsuits over their rampant corruption, mistreatment of inmates, and inhumane conditions, which have even led to the death of prisoners. Because the corporations are profit-driven, they have an incentive to cut corners on the care of their inmates and detainees to save money. Currently, 16% of federal prisoners are housed in private prisons. The two largest prison corporations, GEO Group and Corrections Corporation of America, together take in $3.3 billion in annual revenue, and the industry doubled in size between 2000 and 2010. While several states, including New York and Illinois, have banned private prisons, it's a tough battle for lawmakers to take up because of the massive amount of money the corporations pour into politics. Now, with these facts in mind, why hasn't there been an effort by Congress to abolish the private prison industry? Now, as that last sentence pointed out, you gotta follow the money to get an answer. So GEO, which is, as they stated, one of the largest private prison companies, has spent over $6 million over the last 13 years buying Republican, Democrat, and even third-party candidates. Now, together, GEO and Corrections Corporation of America spent $25 million buying politicians since 1989. So now these facts are provided by the National Institute on Money and Politics. So over the last 6 years, $11 million has been spent by the private prison industry to lobby Congress to keep immigrants in detention centers. So, of course, this is deplorable. This industry needs to be abolished. So now when it comes to this election cycle in particular, there's been two candidates that have taken significant contributions from the private prison industry. One of them is Marco Rubio. He took $40,000 from GEO. Now, can you guess who the other one is? It's Hillary Clinton. Of course, because she's taking money from everybody. So she's taken $44,000 from GEO alone, and that excludes the other corporations. Now, this is according to The Intercept. I'll put a link in the description box. So Hillary Clinton contends that she wants to end mass incarceration, but there's no feasible way to do this unless you break up the private prison industry and abolish it completely. But of course, she's not going to do this because they are now bankrolling her campaign. Not all of it, but they're giving a significant contribution. I mean, $44,000. That's a lot of money. So she's certainly going to give them access, and she's going to listen to what they got to say. So now, abolishing the private prison industry is not just something that's politically pragmatic. It's something that's morally righteous. It's something that I think as a nation we're obligated to do. Because if you incentivize corporations to lock up people, then what do you think is going to happen? We're going to become the #1 country for incarcerations. And that's the case. We have more people locked up than North Korea. That's sickening. Now, of course, we do have more citizens than North Korea. They have about 56 million, I believe, whereas we have 320 million, but still, that still speaks volumes in itself. So now, mark my words, once this is announced, once Bernie actually proposes this legislation, you're going to have a number of politicians coming out against it and speaking out against it almost immediately. Now, when that happens, I want you to take their names down, and I want you to visit opensecrets.org and see just how much the private prison industry is donating to them, because they're going to try to come up with an argument to counter this. But it's not going to be factual. It's not going to be something that is going to actually even be logical. They're going to be doing this because they are getting money from the private prison industry. So if you want to know where they stand, follow the money. Mark my words, it's going to happen. opensecrets.org.